Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be answering another highly requested video question, which is how to bond with others who are joining the same organization as you. I don't really know another way to put it. I'll put it in the title once I figure out exactly what I'm going to call it. But today we're answering that question of how to bond with people who are joining the same organization with you. I don't want to say line sisters or line brothers because you guys already know how I feel about that subject or that term. I'm not going to get into it. That's just, I don't use that phrase, or I don't use those words for specific reasons that I've already said. So I don't know what to call it. But today we're going to address that. How do you bond? So with everything that's going on right now with COVID, it's going to be a little bit different from how I would, well, actually, no. It probably wouldn't change that much now that I think about it. I think this could be used for anyone who is involved in intake right now with COVID, or those who are involved with it after all this craziness ends. Either way, I think this video would be helpful. So in actuality, I wouldn't recommend starting to bond with anyone until you know for sure who's going to be involved in that specific intake with you, mainly because you don't want to involve people who end up not getting in after informal, or you don't want to involve people before anything's confirmed with the chapter, and you don't want anyone to feel some type of way if you guys start chatting in the informal process and then you end up not chatting because that person or you weren't selected when everybody else was. So I don't recommend exchanging numbers until after it's been confirmed who's going to be a part of the organization. You don't want anyone to feel salty after the fact. So that's just my take on that. Once you've confirmed who all is going to be involved in intake with you, then you can exchange numbers. I recommend having a group chat. Some people don't like group chat. I personally do not like group messages in group chat. So that's just my thoughts on it. I personally don't like it because when everyone messages me and they start having side conversations that I'm not involved in, or I'm at work and I hear conversations that I'm not involved in, and things like that, I typically don't like it. I will say that I do recommend group chat. Not group messages, but group chat. Group chat is an app that will allow you to add people into a group. There's a host, so the host can add people into the group and remove people from the group and things like that. That's why I don't recommend doing it until everyone's confirmed for membership or confirmed as candidates beforehand, because you don't want to remove somebody after you've added them. So once everyone's confirmed, get a group chat, get a group started, get the conversation started with each other in the chat. And the good thing about group chat, not sponsored, but the good thing about group chat is that you can go in and silence the app if you don't want to hear anything at that time. So it's really helpful for people like me who don't specifically like their phone going off, but ding, 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 with different conversations. I'd rather just mute it, and then when I'm off work, I'll catch up with you guys once I get, back to my phone. So I think that that's a good app to use. I think, what was another one? WhatsApp is probably a good one for people who are in different locations, mainly because it's added by phone number. And the same thing, you can silence it if you don't want to answer it at that point in time. So that's a good app. It's better than group messaging because it's just easier to manage. So with that out of the way, I recommend just doing some icebreakers. Some people might already know each other who want to join the organization, but if you don't know each other, I always recommend doing an icebreaker. Just a polite, hi everyone, welcome to the group, my name's so-and-so, where's everybody from, or what does everybody do, or little things like that. The reason why is because with COVID specifically right now, people aren't able to do face-to-face interactions if the certain number of occupancy is exceeded, or there's only a certain number of people who can hang out in a group. And if you're in a large group, it's going to be hard for you guys to get to know each other because you can't physically meet. If it's a smaller group, then you might be able to get together and socially distance, but still get together and do activities and get to know each other that way. And I just think that that's a little more manageable than a large group trying to do it. So for the large group people as well as the small group people, it would be best to do icebreakers that way. And it's just easier to bond that way, doing icebreakers. asking, you know, basic questions that you would ask anyone when you're trying to get to know them. What's your name? What does everybody do? Favorite color? At some point, it's going to get so comfortable till, excuse me, at some point, it's going to get so comfortable until you know the other person's birthday or people's birthdays, favorite colors, and that's what you want at the end of the day. You want to be able to bond with them to the point where you know them like you know your own family members. That's the whole point behind the bonding process anyways, is so that you know that person. So you can still do those things even with it being virtual right now. Another thing that you can do is video calls, video messaging. Right now, it is a little difficult to do FaceTime with everyone. Some people don't have FaceTime, but you can use things like Duo, FaceTime, Google Meets is free. I believe Zoom, certain people who have access to Zoom, they have unlimited time on their Zoom where they can hang out. Some people, the maximum is 40 minutes, I believe, for Zoom. So make sure that you're able to do things to where you can see each other and physically hang out with each other that way, because with the process, with intake itself, there is a bonding component, but I feel like a lot of people are missing that with things being virtual right now. So if you're not able to physically bond, to physically be together and hang out together, then use those options to get to know each other better. How you can bond. If you're of age, do like a wine night or a sister's night. I know some people might not drink wine, sorry. But do some kind of activity that will allow you guys to band together and hang out. You can do a paint and sip where you can drink whatever you want. You can do a spa night where you guys get your stuff together and talk about your spa routines, what you do for yourselves. If you're guys, I don't specifically know what men can do to bond. I don't know, maybe I gotta ask my guy to see what they do to bond. But you know, for the ladies, you guys can do spa nights. You can do, you know, hair nights. How do you do your hair routine? Little things like that. Get to know each other on those levels. Like, what do y'all do in your daily lives? What do you do, you know, to wind down in the evening? Get to know each other that way. And I feel like it's a good way to bond and to get to know each other too. Like I said, the purpose behind bonding at the end of the day is to get to know the person who's in front or behind you. And you want to be able to know that person so well to where you know every little thing about them. You know what facial expression they make that means, all right, it's time to, you know, or you know when they're sad and when they're upset. That's the whole point behind bonding. So the main point is to make an effort, even with everything going on right now, make an effort to get to know the person who's going to join with you. If you have to be that person to be the leader and hold everybody together, then you be that person. Or if you're the person that's not really, you know, you're not at the front of the line, but you still want to take time to get to know everybody, you don't have to do it in a group chat. If you just want to message people individually to get to know them so that you don't feel pressured to do it in a group, you can do it that way. But the whole point behind it is to just take the time to get to know the person who's going to be joining with you. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be stuck with this person. If you're an undergrad, you're going to be stuck with this person until you graduate. If you're in graduate chapter, you're stuck with that person until the person leaves the chapter or you leave the chapter. In a sense, there has to be some commonality in all of the effort to get to know the person that you're joining the organization with. So find that commonality and bond over it. That's the main recommendation that I would make for that. Find something that you guys have in common and build it from there. It's basically my advice on how to bond. Anything else that comes to my mind, I will put in the comments or in the description box. But I hope that you guys found this video helpful and that it answered that question. Give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. It really, really helps me know like who's, you know, really into my channel. So any questions that you guys need answered, you can always DM me on my social media, which is KelsTells, or you can message me directly at KelsTells.all@gmail.com. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.